Welcome back to the Ripewave audio community, where we explore together all types of home audio systems from hi-fi to home theater. My name is John, and for this video we will unbox the Polk Audio 900 LS in-ceiling speaker. Yes, Ripewave Audio pulled the trigger on the Polk Audio closeout deal to purchase 4 of these at $299 from a third-party retailer, which is about 46% off of the original list price. If you missed that video from last week where we examined how great deals can be found when Polk Audio closes out a model, I have provided a link in the description for your convenience. To quickly recap some of the details from the previous video, the Polk Audio 900 LS is a 3-way in-ceiling speaker, which was the top-of-the-line model released in 2010 to match their LSIM series with some of the same or similar components. Now, by purchasing these now, we are staying on the budget side by opting for savings versus benefiting from whatever enhancement Polk decides to add with the replacement models. In general, Polk tends to evolve their models and improve them sonically. Even if you are among those that question the new models as being an improved sound, there is at least a clear effort by Polk to elevate with each generation. Now, we estimate at least $1,000 savings with this model, the 900 LS on closeout, versus its replacement, which the details have yet to be seen. The Polk website is just showing one model during this transitional period. But even if they're released with the same list price as the prior generation, we'll have this $1,000 savings. And with their use as Atmos effects channels, it may not result in an audibly comparable difference. So we're happy with this purchase. Now let's get into the unboxing. I'll open just one because they'll all be the same. And let's see how they put this together. They're not too heavy because you don't have a cabinet with in-ceiling speakers. Now, I've never had in-ceiling speakers, so this will be the first. So as we open this up, what we can see in here is the manual, but they also have a card here for registration. They're saying you could win $500 worth of a Polk product. Maybe that's not expired, so we can see if we can enter to win some more Polk speakers. At the top of this, we do see, it looks like a template for the cutout. This is the speaker grill, and it appears to be a magnetic design. I'll move this over here. Now, it's not double boxed or anything, but we do get a crate style here. Set this down on the floor. So this is how they come. Be careful not to poke this down onto anything. I'll just pull it open. Okay. So, perhaps not as exciting as opening up a full regular speaker. So now we're starting to see, as we get the wrapping off of this, in person, what this looks like versus just what was observable from the websites, etc. But we see this 3-way design. They had to be very creative to get all the 3 drivers into this package. And you can see the ports here to get the woofer sound through this. So this is, I wouldn't call it a concentric design, but the woofers behind the mid-range here, and this is the 3¼ inch mid-range that we see on the LSI-M series. The radial ring tweeter here, this is slightly smaller than the 1-inch found in the LSI-M floor standing and bookshelf speakers. This is actually 3/4 inch in size. And in the back here, this is where we have the 6x9 inch Cassini design, oval Cassini designed woofer, which is actually the same size as what you see in the full tower speakers. Now as we look into the back of this, we can actually see the crossover, something you wouldn't normally see with a speaker unless you've opened it up. And this is where the speaker wire goes into it, so it's not bi-wired or anything, just a single set of binding posts here that are spring-loaded. We'll have to see if standard banana clips could fit in here, or we just put bare wire into it. Since this is going to be in the ceiling, I don't see any reason why not just to put the bare wire directly into it. They seem to have a little extra hook here. I bet that is to keep it from falling. You could put a safety wire on that. And there is the speaker. And they have the, when you put this into the ceiling, this is the standard clips that lock it into the ceiling. And where is that? Let's take a look to see how the grill will go on. Don't know if there is a positioning. But it's just magnetic, which is great. And that's going to create a pretty low profile against the ceiling. So with this unboxed, let's bring over our LSI-Ms and take a look at how they compare. Wow, I forgot how heavy those are. That's a heavy bookshelf. So this is the LSI-M 703s. These I'm using for rear surround speakers today. And let's put this side by side here. Now the LSI-M bookshelf doesn't have the oval driver that the towers have. But what we can see is the similarities in the mid-range driver and in the radial ring driver. And you can see how this is the 1-inch driver here versus the 3/4 inch driver. So as you recall, the 900 LS have the greatest frequency range of all the Polk in-ceiling speakers to date. So it was 40 hertz to 20,000 hertz. These are rated at 8 ohm, which I find very interesting because for years Polk had been 4 ohm speakers, sometimes 6, rated as 6, not often 8, although this period with the LSI-M series, they get rated at 8 ohms, and now with the Legend series, they're back to rating them at 4 ohms, but this is rated as an 8 ohm speaker, 150 watt rating on the speaker at 90 dB sensitivity. This is designed for an 8 3/16 inch diameter installation with a mounting depth of 9 3/8 inches. So you want to make sure before you purchase these that you can accommodate both the cutout and the depth of the speaker. The other thing that you'll notice is that on the front of these speakers there are 2 buttons. One is, get my glasses on here. The first one here says wall distance. Now if you're not able to mount these at least 2 feet, and I think it says 60 centimeters in the metric from the edge of your wall, then you want to push this in. If it's greater than 2 feet from the wall, then it's pushed out. The other button is for the reflectiveness of the room. If you have a kind of a normal room that absorbs a lot of the signals, then you leave the button out. If you have a very reflective room, maybe with windows, not a lot of no hardwood floors, etc., you want to push that in for very reflective. So they do have an adjustment on two parameters for the sound with those two buttons. As stated in the previous video, Ripewave Audio intends to move its main 5-channel surround sound to a 7.2.4 immersive system or beyond, supporting at least Dolby Atmos and DTS:X and perhaps Aural 3D formats. Our room can accommodate more than 4 in-ceiling speakers, perhaps as many as 10, but certainly 8. Therefore, the plan is to start with these in the Atmos recommended locations. Closest to, meaning 2 in front, 2 behind the main seating position. Should we add in the future more in-ceiling speakers, it could be with Polk's next generation in-ceiling speaker, which is yet to be announced to replace this model. If we do, we will purchase 4 of the new ones to take the place of the 900 LSs. However, we will reposition the 900 LSs to the next positions further away from the listener. So then we would have 4 in front of the listener, 4 behind the listener. And we have a fairly large room, so that would give a nice transition from the ear level speakers up to the ceiling and as the objects move across the room. We are excited about getting these installed, but there may be some delay. To get the room ready, we will need to run additional cables, cut the holes for the openings, purchase additional equipment. So we'll need the new processor for sure that supports the immersive formats and the ceiling speakers. We will then need at least 4 more channels of amplification to support these. What we'll probably do there is get something better for our normal surrounds and rear speakers and repurpose the amplifiers serving those now for the ceiling speakers. Certainly we have purchased the in-ceiling speakers out of order, and this was not our plan sequentially. However, we did not want to miss out on the closeout deal. Now, despite jumping at this deal, it is very possible that inventories will remain for several months out. In fact, we can still see some of the LSI M703 bookshelf speakers still available to purchase new, despite the Legends being available for over a year now. However, we decided not to take that risk, and we simply made the investment now for our future home theater expansion. What I will do is connect these all up, unmounted to the ceiling, just to ensure they're all working properly, and get a little bit of a sense how they sound, but we really won't get a full sense until they're actually in the ceiling, because that really sets up the whole sound characteristics, the ceiling itself, and their position in the room. If you are also moving from a standard surround sound setup to an immersive system, we would appreciate hearing your feedback. What is your transformation plan? Will you start with the more logical replacement of your AV receiver or processor? That feedback would be useful to the Ripewave audio community. Furthermore, if you enjoyed this video and are interested in enhancing your audio experience, please like and subscribe to this Ripewave audio community, and be sure to select the bell icon so you will be notified as soon as the next video is posted. Until then, keep evolving your audio experience.